Right, so we're back with another ITF tool tutorial. These little tutorials that I'm doing are just a step-by-step through certain patterns of the ITF syllabus. They're not meant to be something that you can do instead of coming to your lessons. It's just so that you can map out your patterns at home, come to your lessons and let the instructors correct any errors, and that way we can progress a lot more quickly. Okay, so today we're doing pattern Joong pattern that you perform as a blue belt to take your red stripe grading. So the start position is a closed ready stance, feet together. Your right hand is closed and your left hand is covering over the top, and the height of these hands should be round about where your belly button is, and they should be away from your body like this. Don't have them too close or too low or too high. This is closed ready stance B, Moa, Jumbi Sogi B. So first move, get your balance, bend those knees. Remember, we're working on knee spring, chambering the arms, the blocking arm underneath, and then performing an L stance, middle section, reverse knife hand block. So if you make sure your thumb is tucked across the palm of your hand like this, because the blocking tool is this side of the hand. So that first movement is here in an L stance. Second movement is a low front step kick off the front leg. So we're kicking here and then stepping forwards with a palm upward block in a rear foot stance. So you can see on this stance, my front heel is slightly off the floor, not massively off the floor like this, just a little gap between my heel and the floor. My back foot is turned out, as it would be if you were in an L stance. My feet are like a letter L, and it is a palm upward block. We perform the same three techniques on the opposite side, and then we come down that center line with an L stance, knife hand guarding block, then moving the front foot into a walking stance, and at the same time performing an upward elbow strike. Then we perform that again, stepping forwards, a knife hand guarding block, an upward elbow strike, then stepping forwards with a twin vertical punch. Now don't go too wide when you do this. Some people punch like this. We're not aiming at two separate targets. We're aiming to punch the same person with both fists. So just a little gap between where their nose would be. Then stepping forwards with a twin upset punch this way in walking stance. Now the turn is a similar turn to what you would have performed in pattern Do-san, which is a spot turn where you move your front foot across, then your back foot, and you're into a walking stance, and you're performing an upward block this way with the arms crossed. Okay, and if you could get the chamber for the next move correct at this point by having your left hand on the outside. So I'll be turning this way into here. The next move, turn into L stance, and I'm performing a back fist strike, a high back fist strike. Then the next two techniques are continuations on each other. So the first one, we slip into walking stance and we release, as if somebody's got hold of this hand, you're pulling that hand back, and then it's a high section reverse punch after. Then we turn, feet together, and we perform the back fist the opposite side. We do the release and slipping into walking stance, and then the high reverse punch. So at this point, I'm going to pretend I've done the pattern facing away from you. So I will turn, I will be here at this point. I'll be here at this point, and I do my back fist release punch, which I've just shown you. But this way, you're going to be able to see me do the second half of the pattern now, because I'm coming back towards you. But if you're practicing this at home, you will just be now returning back to where you started on your start point. So you bring your front foot back, so your feet are together, stepping forwards into walking stance with a double forearm block, like we performed in pattern Joong. Then moving the front foot into L stance and performing a punch off the front arm, which is a reverse punch in L stance, a side kick, and a walking stance double forearm on the right hand side. Moving the front foot again into L stance with the punch off the front arm. Again, another side kick, but this time landing in an L stance and a forearm guarding block. So this double forearm, this, which is forearm guarding block. Moving that front foot slowly into a low stance whilst performing a pressing block. Step forwards again, an L stance, forearm guarding block. Then again, slowly, about 4 seconds, pushing that foot forward to a low stance, performing pressing block on the other side. Then bring your back foot up into a closed stance, and you'll turn in and you're doing an angle punch this way, roughly in line with your opposite chest, 90-degree angle with the arm. Stepping forwards on your right leg into a fixed stance, U-shaped block, and then feet together, and step in to the opposite side in a fixed stance, U-shaped block, and then returning your right leg back to your jumpy ready position. So I'll perform that pattern all the way through without switching directions halfway, so you can see what it should look like, and then hopefully that will help you with your practice away from the dojo. Pattern, Joong and Tul, 32 movements, sit up.